Well, by the time I finish this job, it's going to be much, much easier getting up and down here. Because now we're starting to batten out. If you've been watching these videos for a while, and if you haven't worked it all out already, it's very much a design in progress kind of arrangement. Because while I've got a pretty good idea of what I want, I've got to adapt what I'm doing to the materials and the problems that the materials reveal as I'm going through it. For example, in the video that I did in gathering the bamboo, I wasn't able to find tough enough bamboo, thick enough bamboo that I could use the bamboo as battens. So I'm going back to plan A, which means I'll use the bush poles for the battens and I'll use the bamboo for the stays. That means I also don't have to worry about putting in extra rafters to fill the gap between the crux frame and the valley. If I just, even across the top here where the gap is the biggest, I can just put a bush pole across, lash it down, and it will do the job. I'll still have to work out how I'm going to form the battens properly for the valley, because I want to try and smooth out that sharp corner, make it a little bit more of a radius so it's easier to lay the thatch in. From what I've been reading, laying thatches into sharp cornered gullies is a bit tricky. But for right now, the job right now is to get one of these sections of the roof battened out. Once we've got it battened out, then we're going to try laying some thatch and use the lessons that we learn on this section of the roof to help us get the rest of it right. The problem with the bush pole option for using them as battens is that means I'm probably going to need a lot more bush poles, which means a lot more bark removal, which is a pain. But c'est la vie. Next thing, spacing. From what I've been reading about thatching, you need a batten spacing of between 325 to 500 mil, depending upon the material you're using. Now the thatch that I've already started gathering is rush, and most of it is very, very long rush. So I reckon that means we can get away with a wider spacing, a 500 mil spacing. So that's what we're going to go with. Now to make that simple to lay down, I'm going to get an idea of what 500 mils is on my body, on my arm. Okay, so inside of my arm, to my fingertips about 450. For the outside of my elbow to my fingertip, yeah, it's perfect. Okay, we'll go with that. Tricky of tricky though is that that's an angled measurement, so I won't be able to just measure. Oh god. Isn't it good that these things don't have to be precise? They just have to be approximate. There's the first batten, and now I've got my string line tied off. I can get the rest of the battens done, on this side at least. I just got to do the same over there. Oh, and I'm starting at the top, because by starting at the top I can use, which is the longest length, I can make most efficient use of the poles that I've got. Go! And as you saw, the kids are already all over it. What are you two doing up there? You having fun?
Yes.
Right. No, you realise that once the thatch goes on, you're not allowed on the thatch.
What's a thatch?
The thatch is what I'm putting on next.
What's the thatch?
It's at the front. It's all the bundles of rush that I've got out there. It's the roof. It's what's going to form the roof.
Oh no.
As the frames come together, the kids have got more involved. They sort of caught the vision of what we're doing, and with the battens on, they've been up and down the frame almost every day. Now, though, we're getting into a new phase. Up until this point, I've been using tools and techniques and methods that I'm familiar with. This is all stuff that I've done before. But I've wanted to work on a thatch roof, to a thatch building, for 20 years. And whenever I've come across a link on the internet, I've read it and gone through stuff. Any books that I've found on it, I've read them. There's not a lot of information out there on how to thatch. There's lots of little videos where you can say, oh, there's someone thatching. But details on how it's done, few and far between. So now I'm really heading into a whole new area, and the learning curve, it's going to be steep, but that's the fun. That's actually one of the things I love about these projects is what you learn, and I'm really looking forward to it. So hope you'll join me in the next episode. It's coming right up. So you don't miss it, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you'll know when it's coming out. And I'll catch you guys online. So until then, bye-bye. As the frames come together, the kids have got more involved.